Welcome to Xpertdoc Smart Flows. My name is Eric Pot. In today's session, we'll look at pseudo-relations. A typical scenario for a pseudo-relation involves two data sources, for instance a CRM quote and a web service offering some extended info for our quote products. From the web service, we get a product description, a link to the manual, an image, and maybe some other fields. For that web service, I've created a schema dataset. And I've added that schema dataset together with my quote dataset to my template. For the template, I can create a flow. In my flow, I use an HTTP connector to retrieve data from the web service. I pass the quote ID and the web service returns the data for just that quote. We have a separate video on retrieving external data with the HTTP connector. Now let's switch to the template. We have a template with two datasets, a CRM dataset and a web service dataset. If the quote and the product info share a field, we can connect the two using a pseudo-relation. In my example, that would be the product ID field. So let's create that relation. I select the quote product. That's the place where the relation is created. I add the pseudo-relation and give it a name. As a parent, I select the entity I just selected in my dataset. I also use that as my from entity. From that entity, I'm going to select the field that I want to connect. So that will be my product ID field. Then in the to field, I will select the entity from my other dataset. In this case, from my product info, I'll select the product entity. And from that product entity, I will select the field that I will use to connect the two datasets. So again, that would be my product ID field. Click OK to create the pseudo-relation. The pseudo-relation is created on the product entity, and it has extended the product entity with the fields from my other dataset. So now I can use the product description field, for instance, and map that in my template. I've made it italic and a little bit smaller to make it look good. Now, if you have a sample for both datasets, you can create a preview. And as you can see, the product descriptions are now retrieved from my web service and placed in my template. To finish off, a couple of pointers. If your web service returns multiple records per product, you can add a loop over the pseudo-relation. Instead of using a web service, you can also build a pseudo-relation between CRM entities, as long as they have a field in common that you can use for the pseudo-relation. But remember, a pseudo-relation is not a query. Your web service should only return the items you want to show in the template. You cannot use it to query your product catalog, for instance. It's just a nice way to extend the fields of your dataset. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.